Ladies and gentlemen, gather round, because we've got a story today that's juicier than a vegan's nightmare at a Texas barbecue. On May 25th, 2025, the city of Savannah, Georgia, known for its charming squares and historic architecture, became the latest backdrop for a scene that's becoming all too familiar in our progressive utopia, a mass shooting. Yes, folks, another day, another gun-free zone proving to be about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. According to reports, 4 people were injured in a shooting near Ellis Square, a popular spot for tourists and locals alike. Now, before we dive into the details, let's take a moment to appreciate the irony here. Savannah, a city that prides itself on its southern hospitality and charm, now finds itself in the headlines for something far less charming. But hey, at least the city's commitment to being woke is still intact, right? First up, let's talk about the location. Ellis Square. This isn't some back alley or abandoned warehouse. It's a bustling public space recently revitalized to attract more foot traffic. But the city poured millions into making it a hub for community gatherings, complete with fountains, green spaces, and, of course, a strict no-gun policy, because nothing says safety like a sign that says no guns allowed, right? I'm sure the shooter saw that sign and thought, oh no, I better take my criminal activities elsewhere. Spoiler alert, he didn't. Now, onto the victims. 4 people were injured in this incident. Thankfully, none of the injuries were life-threatening, but that's hardly a consolation. These individuals were just going about their day, perhaps enjoying a leisurely stroll, or grabbing a bite to eat, when their lives were abruptly interrupted by violence. But don't worry, the city's leadership is on it. They've issued the standard thoughts and prayers statement, and are considering implementing even stricter gun control measures. Because, as we all know, criminals are notorious for their strict adherence to the law. Speaking of the city's leadership, let's take a moment to discuss their response. Mayor Progressive McWokeface, not his real name, but it might as well be, held a press conference where he condemned the violence and vowed to take action. His plan? To double down on the very policies that have proven ineffective time and time again. Because if at first you don't succeed, fail again. It's like watching a dog chase its tail, except less entertaining and more dangerous. But wait, there's more. In the wake of the shooting, local activists have taken to social media to demand action. Their solution? To defund the police and invest in community programs. Because when bullets are flying, what you really need is a community garden and a drum circle. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Now, let's talk about the shooter. Details are still emerging, but what we do know is that he had a lengthy criminal record and was shockingly not legally allowed to own a firearm. But hey, what's a little thing like the law when you're determined to commit a crime? It's almost as if criminals don't follow the law. Who would have thought? In the aftermath of the shooting, the usual suspects have come out of the woodwork to push their agendas. Gun control advocates are calling for more restrictions, despite the fact that the existing ones didn't prevent this tragedy. Meanwhile, Second Amendment supporters are pointing out that perhaps, just perhaps, allowing law-abiding citizens to exercise their right to bear arms might deter such incidents. But what do they know? They're just clinging to their guns and religion, right? Let's not forget the media's role in all of this. They're quick to sensationalize the tragedy, plastering the shooter's face all over the news and giving him the notoriety he likely craved. But when it comes to discussing the root causes of such violence or the failure of current policies, they're mysteriously silent. It's almost as if they have an agenda. But couldn't be, could it? In conclusion, the shooting near Ellis Square is a tragic reminder of the failures of progressive policies and the dangers of disarming law-abiding citizens. It's a wake-up call that will likely be ignored by those in power who are more concerned with virtue signaling than actually protecting their constituents. But hey, at least they can sleep soundly at night, knowing they've done their part to make the world a safer place, except for the people who were actually affected by the violence. But who cares about them, right? So, to all the liberals out there who think that more gun control is the answer, I have one question for you. How's that working out for you? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like the only people being controlled are the law-abiding citizens, while the criminals continue to run amok. But at least you can feel good about yourselves. And isn't that what really matters?